Welcome to Diversity Matters. This program is designed to provide insight into the diversity and diversity-related activities throughout the New Hanover County Schools system. I am Maria Black, the Hispanic Services Liaison for New Hanover County Schools. In the first half of the program, my co-host, Valida Quattlebaum, talks with Sonja Green as they remember the legacy of Williston High and what the Alumni Association does to keep that legacy alive. Then, in the second half of the show, I'll be talking with Naomi Mendez and Remaa Mansour about their roles as ESL parent liaisons in the New Hanover County Schools system. So don't go away. This edition of Diversity Matters will get started right after this short break.
Hear the one about the rabbi and the reverend who like to party? A community coalition got them together with local restaurant owners. Now they host drug-free kids' parties.
These guys know how to party.
It's just one example of what community coalitions can do. But it's not the only way to keep kids away from drugs. Visit helpyourcommunity.org to find out what your group can do. Because you get more
when you get together.
For today's program, I'm joined in the studio by Mrs. Sonja Green, the chairperson of the Scholarship Committee for the Williston High School Alumni Association and an alumna of Williston Senior High. In honor of Black History Month, Mrs. Green and I will be remembering the great legacy of Williston Senior High School and what the Alumni Association does to keep that legacy alive. Mrs. Green, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
What was it like going to the great Williston Senior High during the time that you did?
I was there in the 60s. It was a family unit more than, I guess, anything. The teachers felt responsible for you. They were always on the lookout to see that you achieved whatever goals they had set for you. It was a reputation of raising the mark.
Mm-hmm. And they pushed you all.
They pushed, and we didn't find out until sometime later that a lot of the teachers were also Willistonians themselves. So then we understood why they wanted us to succeed.
Right.
Yes.
So what made the school so special? Why did you have teachers that cared that much and students that rose to that high bar, they said?
It was to improve yourself. You didn't want your parents to be disappointed in you, because if the family looked good, you looked good.
Right.
And that was your family at home, your family in the community, and your family at school.
Right.
So we did quite well with that part.
Okay, and the school produced some of the country's greatest leaders. Can you tell us a few of them?
Oh, wow, we had tons of them. Musicians, we had the Heath brothers, Jimmy and Percy, who were a part of the Modern Jazz Quartet. Philip Clay, who was now a retired chancellor from MIT. Robert Taylor, who was back in the very early or late 1800s, also graduated Williston and attended MIT. He also was an architect. You have Ernest Fulwood, who was a judge, now retired.
Right.
Reginald Clemens, a two-star general, and the first African-American head of the War College in Washington, D.C. Lieutenant General Joseph McNeil, who was also a part of the Greensboro Four, who started the sit-ins.
Right.
Colin Bull is a practicing attorney in New York. We just have Meadow Lock Lemon, Althea Gibson, Fred Bowens, who played for the Baltimore Orioles.
Great athletes.
Athletes,
yeah,
you know.
Dr. Lee Monroe.
Dr. Lee Monroe consults with universities to encourage international students to attend their schools. And he also does PR for foreign leaders. So we're still on the map.
You are,
yes.
You are. So how did the fact, it was a segregated school at the time, how did that impact the school, the teachers, and you all as students?
As I said, it made us work harder. Our teachers made us aware that we always had to be twice as good to achieve, and sometimes that still was not enough. But they never let us stop.
Right.
You had to keep going.
You had to press forward.
Press forward.
And we know that one of the things that helped the community was that the teachers were in the church, the principals and the families were in the church together.
Yes.
So how did that shape the school?
That was, I know it's an old saying and you hear it over and over, but that was where the village helps to raise the child.
Right.
Everybody, teachers, principals, even the custodians, the cafeteria workers, everybody kind of felt responsible for you. And if you did something out of the way, somebody would say something to you. And like at graduation time, most homes in our community was just about empty because everybody went to see you graduate.
Right.
And that was a real big deal.
That's a piece I wish that we could keep. Do you know
I wish.
how we could replace that sense of community?
I wish I had the cure for it. I think it would help if parents would tell their children why your teacher wants you to do well.
Right.
And explain to them your time in school and what was it like when you realized your teacher is not mean.
Right.
They just want you to do well. They want one day to look up and say, I taught him.
I taught them. Because our teachers still care about us.
Yeah, they still care.
Have that element, right.
And it's important that our children understand it's not about control, it's just about I want you to do well and you have to learn discipline.
Right. So Williston obviously was such a great part of African American history here in Wilmington, and you all do a great job keeping it alive. Why is that so important to you all?
It's our history. Williston was the heartbeat of the Black community. And our history, we don't want to lose it. If we don't put it out in front, it will get lost.
Right.
And we want our children to understand how we felt so that they can carry it on through their lives, that you have to keep pressing that. It's always good to look back, but you keep moving forward. But Williston for us was the heartbeat. Anywhere you go, if you walk into a room and you ask, is there anyone here from Williston? Watch the reaction.
Well, I still see it, you know, as a person, I didn't grow up here.
Yes.
But I have certainly learned from your many alumni how important it is.
Yes.
So I'm glad we're doing this feature story. And I understand you all have a Williston room at the Cape Fear Museum.
We do.
And a scholarship program.
We do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The room at the museum there are displays of memorabilia from Williston. There are photographs that they have blown up from the different classes, the different activities. We had the Williston Glee Club, which was just absolutely mind-blowing. We had the band from Mr. Floyd that was just out of sight. But the museum room, and there are alumni members who, if they have memorabilia, they share with the museum so that others can come in and see it.
Okay.
Now, the scholarship fund is something that we give scholarships each year. No matter how much we have, we still share those scholarships with high school graduating seniors.
They're not just children of Williston alumni?
Not just, no. But it's good if we can help them learn how to perpetuate the Williston heritage.
And so what else does your group do to keep the spirit of the school alive?
Classes have reunions. We do.
Now your reunion was coming up, you said?
Yes, my reunion will be in August of this year, my 50th. Yes.
Wow.
Classes have reunions. The alumni, in each July, we have what we call the mix. And that's every class, any class, friends, family, they all come out and we hang out together. They're playing music, they may have food. We have a memorabilia that we're selling. So it's just a good time.
No, that sounds like it's a lot of fun. And all the people I meet, they say the slogan, the greatest school under the sun. Where did that come from?
To my knowledge, it came with Mr. Washington, who was one of our principals. When he was a student in college, he would say, one day I'm going to be the principal of the greatest school under the sun. And that, I think, is how we came on that, because he wanted to have the best high school ever. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Washington, I think he went to Chestnut Street.
Yes.
Presbyterian
Yes.
Church. I've heard of him too.
Mr. Booker T. Washington.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So there's so many great legacies from Williston.
Yes.
What would you say is the greatest legacy of Williston Senior High School?
That we are still connected as family. No matter where we see each other, we recognize each other. When we come together, it's like a family reunion, because you can always catch up on the ones that you have not seen in a while. So we try to stay in touch on a regular basis. Yeah.
That's great. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
If it's possible, I would like to ask all Willistonians, families, and friends to participate in our scholarship activity.
And how do they do that?
Well, each Willistonian, we're asking if you will give $1 for each year you've been out of school, and send it to the Williston Alumni Association, Post Office Box 2, Wilmington, North Carolina 28402. And that will take care of our scholarship funds.
Right, and so you want to give the scholarships
Everybody, yes.
to our current high
Yes,
school seniors,
yes.
so they can go forward.
Yes, we will be sending out applications very soon.
And you all still have a chorus, I understand?
Yes. We did the Christmas chorus in December. It was held at St. Stephen, and it was packed. So if you want to hear anything about the Williston Voices, I think on, is it February 8th, they will be participating with the Wilmington Symphony at UNCW. UNCW.
At UNCW.
Yes, so
Okay.
if you want to hear those wonderful voices, please attend that affair.
That's a great way to celebrate Black History Month, right?
Yeah, they got some good voices still. We're not 15, but they can still sing. Oh
right?
yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Well, Ms. Green, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
representing Williston Senior High School so well.
Oh yes.
And don't go away. We'll be right back.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Welcome to Diversity Matters. This morning, I am speaking with Naomi Mendez and Remaa Mansour, ESL Parent Liaisons for New Hanover County Schools. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Hello. What is a parent liaison, ESL parent liaison for New Hanover County Schools? Can you please define?
A parent liaison is a bilingual individual who bridges communication between school and home to ensure adequate access to information, services, and support to help their students or children be successful in school.
Great. And how about, I hear that sometimes it's a reference, use interpreter, the word interpreter. Can you tell me what is the difference between a parent liaison and an interpreter?
Okay, I think an interpreter is a person that is going to say word by word exactly what the other person is telling you. An ESL parent liaison is the person that is going to break the barrier of the language to help the other person in different ways to look for resources in order to help their children in school. They're going to help them also trying to look for all that information and give them all that information that they need in order for them to succeed also in school.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is then that the interpreter's role is limited and the parent liaison goes beyond just communicating a message. The liaison.
It's an advocate and ambassadors, we are actually ambassadors between the schools and the parents. So it goes
Okay, great.
furthermore.
And can you give me some examples of some of the things that the liaison does? You know, how do you guys actually help and provide that support that you're referring to?
We help with enrollment, we help with form completion, we help with translating forms, we set up meetings, we call parents and set up meetings, and we help with BSM meetings, IEP meetings, conferences, with open house or orientation. We help with, for example, you know, the high school students. We help them with choosing their classes, and we meet with the counselors. We help them with many different things, but you know, so.
So your support is your support ever also helping the student? Do you find yourself that you assist the families, but do you also support the student? Can you give me an example of how you do that?
Yes, we do support students in the school. Sometimes, you know, just you have students, they just came to the country, they don't know the language yet, so you need somebody who speaks both languages to ensure that they are going to understand what you are teaching them. It's so hard for just a teacher in the school to teach the English language to a student who never spoke the language. So you come in there handy to explain that to them in their native language and make that, you know, just
and specifically, you work with what language?
I work with the Arabic-speaking children and families.
Okay, and Naomi?
And I work with Hispanic people.
Okay. What would you say are some characteristics of a good parent liaison?
We have to be a good listener. We have to be trustful because the parents, when they come to us, they want to have a person that they could count on that person and know that that person is going to be a person that has good concerns and is really worried about what is going on with the children. We have to be a good note taker. We have to be also available all the time when they need us. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. If they need us at what time, or we have to be available for them when they have to reach for us.
Wow, that's great. Would you like to add anything to that?
Of course, you have to be a good listener, you have to be a good note taker, especially when you are in a meeting. You have to have good knowledge of both languages, so you can explain to the parents and the school staff what's going on in a meeting. Plus, you know, just you have to have a good vocabulary. You have to have cultural awareness, because this is very important. If you don't understand the culture, it's so hard for explaining it to other people.
And you just mentioned the word vocabulary, having good vocabulary. That's really interesting because I have heard of many occasions, and actually, you know, me as well as a community member, that there are phrases or words in the English language that doesn't quite translate to the Spanish. You know, that's my native language. And then you're just out there trying to explain. So it takes longer because you have to actually come up with the thought that explains that term versus using a short little word.
That's true.
Do you guys find that to be also your case?
Yes,
when you're working?
I worked with one of high school children in the county, and she's taking English 3 and she's taking figurative language, and I was trying to explain to her. And she said, "Oh, I found it on Google." You know, she was trying to find Google Translate to translate the phrase. So if she translate that, hit the sack, for example, that means you are to beat the sack. And it means, you know, go to bed early. So I said, sometimes, you know, not every word translates the same. You have to understand what's going on.
That's great.
Yeah, so this is one of the examples, you know, just I work with the students. And sometimes, you know, just like in civics too, I work with the students. There are many words like I can't remember, just, but some words, they mean something in Arabic, but they mean something else when it's used in that in civics. So I said, oh, does not mean the same, it means this. So yeah, when you go to the dictionary, it does not help you much.
I hear you, that's great. So the other thing you mentioned, it's the word culture. So can you ladies share the importance of being familiar with the culture? What are some examples where you see that culture plays a big role? Because I'm guessing you have to help the staff understand the frame of reference, the background that comes with the student, and vice versa. Help the parents here understand how the educational system here works and what the expectations are. Can you share with the audience what are some examples of a cultural difference when it comes to education or mannerisms in the schools?
Yes, cultural awareness is very important for the teachers and for the people that work in school, because sometimes when we get to know exactly what's going on with the child, what is the culture with the child, you have a better understanding with that child. For example, the Americans always like you to look at the face when you're talking to them. Hispanic people, and I don't know if Arabic happens the same thing, the same situation, where they always tell you that you can't look at the people at the face, because that would be something that is disrespectful. So then they think probably that that child is being disrespectful, but he's not being disrespectful. It's part of the culture. And if you already know these things, well, you're going to be a little bit weird, and you're going to know how to deal with this problem, trying to look for the way for that child to be probably a different way.
Yeah, I come from a different culture too. The first time I came to this country, it was so hard for me to look eye to eye. This is in this culture only. In our culture, out of respect, you have to look down, don't look in the face, don't look in the eyes. So I trained myself to, just look people in the eye, because, they think it's disrespect if you don't look them in the eye. Yeah, this is one of the cultural differences. Plus, we have another cultural difference in our country. We have the teacher. She is, she has the authority. She is the one to teach, and we are to receive, not to question. Another one, it's, just in our culture, we work side to side with the teacher. As parents, the teacher teaches at school, whatever they give, and we make sure our kids, they study hard at home. So this is something we do every single day. It's not 1 hour or two. Sometimes it takes the whole night. Some kids, they don't sleep at night because they have to master concepts or subjects. Yeah.
How about that? That's great. It's really interesting. I just, it's neat how everybody have a different approach. I mean, culturally.
Yes.
And I guess also in the midst of doing your job, you're also learning about perhaps the different regions and how also they do different things.
Yes.
So you ladies are out there discovering, exploring, and just making it all glue together and work. That's great. Can you share just really quick, because we're about to wrap up here, what are some of the, one thing that's challenging and what is rewarding about the job?
The challenging thing, you just don't have a time limit to your job. It's 24 hours. Sometimes, parents, they call you 2 o'clock in the morning, they need help with something, and you just don't feel right not to, just step up and help them. The rewarding thing, you just get to know people from different cultures and from different countries. The countries you never visited, and you feel like from talking to them, you feel like you visited that country. You know about their culture, you know about their, famous food or famous, cultural dress or whatever they have in their. So it's very, very interesting.
Okay, Naomi, anything you want to add quickly? To that?
This job is really challenging because. What makes me really happy is when I see that these families, I could get to them, I could give them the information they need, I could give them the resources, and when I see that this child probably was he wasn't doing good progress in school, and all of a sudden, with all the help we give them, it all becomes really really good for the student. His progress is really great in school. The academic part really has a different way of seeing it, because I had an experience with a child that they called to school because the child was always crying. It was the first week of school. He was crying. They called the parents came in, and when I saw the teacher that was giving him class, I said, I know you're going to be doing a great job. She called me about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and oh my God, this child was really something different. I saw all the difference that happened after we came in. We talked to the parents, the things the parents were doing. So it became really a big challenge to know that these children come in a way, and when they come out of school, they're going to come out in another way.
Wow, that's great. Well, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much for
Thank you for
everything
having
you've
us.
shared. You're doing a great job
you.
and out there making a difference. So that's greatly appreciated. As we just heard, these ladies work really hard to make sure that our students, our families, and staff are able to come to a mutual understanding so that they can achieve social and academic success. So now stay tuned because we'll be right back.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Diversity Matters. If you would like more information about our school system's ESL program, call Maria Black at 254-4202. Also, feel free to contact the school system's Public Relations Office at 254-4245 about any of the topics discussed on our show today or with suggestions for future editions of Diversity Matters. Until next time, I am Maria Black, and on behalf of my co-host, Velita Quadobon, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next month here on Diversity Matters.